Hey, I am Barry LeBrock. I am pleased now to be joined by former pro quarterback and FoxSports.com NFL analyst Eric Kramer. Eric, this is it. Ready to go?
Oh, let's go, baby.
All right.
Football season.
Talking NFL, of course. A lot of young quarterbacks in this league. Tell me, Henne, Stafford, Cobb, Bradford, who do you look at and said, this guy impresses me?
Being an ex-Lion, and we got to have something good to talk about this century. I got to go with Matt Stafford. Matt, I've looked at a tape of him this past preseason against the Browns. Impressive. God, this guy has unbelievable talent, skill. He's fundamentally tight. That's the main thing that jumps right out the screen at you. Now he's making great decisions, gets the ball there on time, and maybe more importantly, last year, he was the guy that came in and won that game for him after going 0-16 the previous year. But the way he did it with toughness, he ended up having a separated shoulder, missing some games. But this is a tough, young quarterback who I love as the franchise of the future for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, tough year last year. He got beaten up, but showed a lot of heart, no question about it. Another team that's kind of close to your heart, the Chicago Bears. A lot of pressure on Lovie Smith coming into this season, a lot of pressure all around. They bring in Mike Martz to kind of get Jay Cutler right. Tell me what your expectations are realistically for Chicago.
Hard to put a number on it. Coming into the season, this is going to be, they're in a tough division. They got the Packers and the Vikings. Yeah. That they're looking up at. Right now, they're just trying to get their offense situated. Coming out of training camp, what they didn't answer yet is how this offensive line is going to come together. They're a little young and inexperienced. They got 4 new starters across the offensive line, especially left tackle Chris Williams. That's the big question mark. And then Mike Martz comes in, and he's got a new offense. It looks like it's going to be an exciting, dynamic type of thing. But then you've got Jay Cutler. Is he really kind of acclimated himself just yet? They got a lot of good young talented specialist type wide receiver, running back type guys. And this is a good team, I think, if they can pull this thing together. But it's going to take a little time. I think Cutler's really the wild card here. Does he have the fundamentals and the mechanics to be consistent? And that's the question we all need to answer.
Yeah, Cutler's obviously got the great arm, but number 21 in the league in quarterback rating last year obviously has to pick up his game as they go forward. Let's move to the NFC West. Kind of an interesting division here. A lot of parity. The Rams, obviously a second-tier team, but the other teams, St. Louis, Seattle, San Francisco, I see it as a toss-up. Who do you like?
Well, talent-wise, I think, Barry, you're looking at San Francisco has the best roster here. Defensively, they finished 6th overall in the NFL last year. Pretty good foundation to build a team around. And then offensively, you've got some good skill position guys. Vernon Davis is one of the top-tier tight ends. Michael Crabtree is an up-and-coming receiver. You added Brian Westbrook in the offseason. I think offensive line, it's a good, solid unit. You got Frank Gore back there running the ball. This is just a team right now that's just scripted for Alex Smith to come in and play consistent. I ran into Jimmy Ray, their offensive coordinator, last offseason at the Senior Bowl. And, there's still question marks. Can Alex Smith be the guy? Is he tough enough mentally? Physically, he's a tough enough guy, but mentally, is he tough enough to week in and week out put this team on his shoulders, make good decisions, get the ball where it needs to go? But if he's able to do even half of that, the 49ers win this division.
Yeah, the Niners, the only team in the NFL in the preseason to go undefeated, 4-0. Pretty good preseason for them. Now to the Chargers, San Diego. They still don't have Vincent Jackson signed. Obviously, that situation's going nowhere. They do bring in Patrick Creighton. Creighton about half the stats last year that Jackson had. But is that more of a function of the Cowboys have a lot more options? And is there a big drop-off from one to the other?
Well, Vincent Jackson's a heck of a talented receiver. He's 6'5", he's 235, 240 pounds, he's fast. But you know what? They've got a stable of those guys. Patrick Creighton's a great addition. They've got one of the best tight ends, maybe of all time, in Antonio Gates. Yeah. He plays more like a wide receiver outside than even a tight end. You've got one of the best young running backs, I think, that's coming out of this draft in a few years here, Ryan Matthews, and still Legadou Nene and all the other talented guys. They've got Phillip Rivers pulling the trigger right there. Malcolm Floyd is who I was thinking of as the other receiver. This is an offense that they're going to win games. They're going to score points. Remember, they won their last 11 games last year coming into the playoffs, lost in a fluke game, I think, to the Jets. But to build on the future, this team is young. It's talented. Yes, they've got Vincent Jackson's not there right now. The big question mark is at left tackle. Can Brandon Dombrowski fill in for Marcus McNeil? So far, so good in the preseason. Pretty good defense, solid offense. This is a top team, I think, in the NFL.
Yeah, left tackle, a rather important position, obviously. San Diego, pretty soft schedule to start Week 7. They have the Patriots come to town. That's their first really tough game this year. That's Eric Kramer. Always great to see him. We look forward to chatting throughout the entire NFL season. And don't forget, FoxSports.com has you covered for all your football needs. For EK, Barry LeBrock. See you next time.